And here on the main stage, I will actually call a Brazilian case, that a Brazilian company that also has a division in North America, BRQ. And João Perez will be here with me. He's the CEO for this division in North America. Augmented Lean powered by digital. Hello, João.
Hey Thompson, how are you? You
I'm
have a good ship
fine. I'm
there. It's
fine.
very clean.
Yes, very clean. It's very calm at the moment. Let's
Very
see when
calm.
the storm comes.
So it's thank you for the invitation, team. Thank you for having our company here to share our experiences. Being part of the Link Global Connection is amazing. We have almost 1,000 people here connected in the session. This is probably the Olympics of Lean, right? You guys put together an amazing representation here of many countries.
Perfect. Thank you, João. Looking forward for your presentation. I will leave you there presenting.
Fantastic team. So Thompson, and if you have any comments from the team, so let's try to do this quickly so we can do Q&A at the end, like Jose Pablo just did. It's amazing to see a company that is in a completely different business. We are in the digital transformation business. We develop software, we develop digital products, and we have so many parallels with Elecmetal. So Jose Pablo, congratulations for the presentation. It was very encouraging to see companies like yours, going through the transformation that made the companies actually stronger during this difficult period of time. So I'm based in New York. It's very cold here for whomever is here in the U.S. It's almost 2 degrees Celsius, like 35 Fahrenheit. So it's getting cold here in the U.S. So it's not as warm as Thompson is. And we will try to share with you guys for the next 20-25 minutes our experience as a company using Lean for our own transformation, and also our experience using Lean transforming the business of our clients. So we had 3 cases at the end that I'm going to share with you guys, so you can see how that transformed BRQ and how we used Lean to transform the business for 3 major corporations that we serve today. So getting to the next slide here. So who is BRQ? BRQ is a digital transformation company, as I mentioned, with 3,500 people, close to 3,500 people, 29 years in the market. We serve over 150 companies in 8 different countries. We have been growing organically about 20% a year every year. So that it creates some of the issues that you are going to see that we addressed with Lean. We had 11 acquisitions that we have to integrate on top of that growth. So that also creates the opportunity for us to become lean. And we are viewed as one of the top companies in digital transformation in the Americas. ISG follows us, and Brazil. We are in the top leader quadrant for 3 of the digital transformation quadrants there. For the ones that know technologies, how people measure success in technology. If you're in the quadrant, a magic quadrant, you're in a good place. And 360 is the equivalent of the Fortune magazine. We are ranked third in the technology companies in Brazil. We are first in innovation, and you guys can read that, second in business performance. And we are expanding the operation now internationally. I'm responsible for the global operation, the operation outside Brazil. So one of our challenges is how do we bring all these assets outside South America, and we expand in a very competitive environment. We are a public company. We are a listed company. We don't trade in Brazil, but we are listed. We have all the governance with the top 4 governance and audit from EY and KPMG in this case now for this year. So we, on top of all the other challenges, we have to behave as if we were a traded company and with all the governance that comes with it. So just to give a kind of a highlight here of the clients that we serve today. So we serve the most complicated, the most demanding, and the largest organizations across many industries. So we serve a segment of the market that is very demanding, that puts a lot of pressure in our delivery people to make sure that we have the highest qualities and the highest type of offerings in front of our clients. You can see the logos here. It's amazing what we have developed in 29 years of experience that is started in Brazil and now is present in 7 countries, and it's going to go beyond that very, very quickly. And we believe, connecting to what we heard from the previous presenter, that people is in the core of the transformation. So we built the company around our people even before we used Lean. So we started with Lean in 2017, but people has been in the cornerstone, as we say, of our organization, and that comes across in our ratings. So we have a Glassdoor rating of 4.6, the highest across the tech companies in Brazil. In US, my Glassdoor rating is 5. We have a great place to work rating that is very high, is 92, which is the highest across the tech companies that we compare ourselves to. We just won one of the top 30 companies in Brazil to work for, and we believe that is one of our superpowers, is the passion that our people has, the diversity that we have, the sincerity that we have across our people. And we have adopted something that you guys are going to see later, which is the inverted pyramid, where we are here, we managers to serve our people, and our people will serve our clients. And we believe that is the best combination to make companies very productive and lean. Uh, just make also comparison to Elecmetal. We went through the same problem of transforming our workforce. We went from having people in about 10 different locations between the US and Brazil before the pandemic. Now we have people, we developed a platform, a whole work platform, virtual, where people can work together, and we have virtual meeting rooms for each one of the squads, as we call them, the teams that work in projects for our clients, that all meet virtually. And now we have people in more than 360 locations around the world. We have people in Portugal, we have people in several cities in the US, more than 300 cities in Brazil. We have people in Europe, people in Canada, people in Mexico. So we were able to truly transform our workforce. And like Jose Pablo mentioned, we were concerned about how that would impact morale, how that would impact teamwork. And we are calling that the connectedness culture, right? So everybody's connected, even more connected than when we were in the office. And it's coming across in the ratings. So we measure that satisfaction from our people, and they're actually happier than they were before. And that choice of having a hybrid environment, some people prefer to be in the office. Some clients ask us to have people on site for some of the projects because of data, because of security. But we have that openness and connectedness that everybody can work from where they are. They can, we have a very diverse team and very open communications with the teams. So why am I taking you through this journey? Because we got here through Lean. So we used Lean as the tool that transformed in 5 years our organization from where we were to where we are today. So let me position to you guys how that happened year by year, and why and how we implemented that transformation. So first, in 2017, our results needed improvement. We had a revenue that was substantial back then, but the profitability wasn't where our board wanted us to be. We had an organization that was the traditional organization in command and control. So that's something that we needed to change. Our founders thought that we should adopt a more modern organization, and the strategy was discussed at the top levels of the organization, but it didn't get to the lower levels of the organization. And that was a dramatic change that we had to implement to make the organization more inclusive. So as I said, we started in 2017 with the Lean Institute here. So Robson was here with the team, Pharaoh. So they were amazing in instrumenting BRQ in that transformation, that then helped us year by year to make improvements in using more and more Lean to the point where we are here. And then you're going to see what we did and how the results materialized over time. And all using what we call our digital superpowers of transforming BRQ and transforming our clients at the same time. So how did we do in 2018 and 2019? So we went from a command control organization to an organization with autonomy, with empowerment, a flat organization. We went to a problem-solving culture where we are here to help our people solve their issues. So we are truly here going to the lean by leading by with respect, helping our teams going to the Gemba and helping them solving problems that create value to our clients, and a strategy of co-creation. So every individual in the organization is responsible and willing to help us create the strategy together, right? So we see the indicators here. So our GPTW, great place to work, improved to 72. Our profitability improved substantially here to 12%. And we thought that we could do even more. So what did we do the year next after that in 2019? So we started here with even a deeper discipline around the lean processes. So we had a strategic A3 for the company. We had a strategy rollout that was communicated to every single employee in the company. We established visual KPIs to be able to actually get the perspective to all the employees in the company, how they were performing and how each organization was performing and where we should improve. We started to use the Kaizen and the Gemba walk across the organization, and a true lean management system that was implemented. Now in 2021, 2022, we went even further, and you can see the results here at the top in terms of profitability. It's an amazing correlation between what we did as a company to implement lean and the output of that in terms of financial results. And then we had a dilemma, we had a paradox, right? So we had we have the top down method that was used for since the inception, since the foundation of the company, and by many other companies, where we created the strategy at the top, and we didn't have the opportunity of sharing that or cascading that properly to the Gamba, to the people actually operating the business. And we thought that had a problem that had to be solved with starting at the bottom. And as our founder Benjamin used to say, if you try to boil the water from the top, it's very hard to boil a pot of water from the top. But if you boil from every single person in the organization, the 3,000 collaborators that we have, it's a lot easier to boil the water from the bottom. So we engaged in a top-down and bottoms-up organization structure. We made it very flat with 2 or 3 layers max for the whole 3,500 people. And we started to talk to everyone in the organization about what is the right strategy, what are the right recommendations that we have from our employees who are actually facing those problems with our customers, and recreated that from bottoms up, engaging every single layer of the organization. Now in 2022, we engaged in a further refinement of the strategy with a back office transformation. So we went to a back office that is looking at value creation at the same time that is looking at the transactional side, and that helped us even further to improve the performance with the amazing team that is under Monica, our CFO, giving us the instrumentation that now is used by every single one in the organization to help us get better at what we do, at every single step of what we do. Now, there's one point here that I want to highlight to everyone here, that those are all tools, right? So tools are not the beginning and not the end of what we do, and everything goes through culture, right? So as we have a saying here in the US, culture eats a strategy for lunch, right? So how do we change our culture? How do we change our mindset? So first, it starts with the leadership, right? So we have to have the buy-in from every single one of our leaders in the company. We have to implement those principles. We have to lead with respect. So we have to go and do the Gemba walk and actually go to our clients, each one of them at where the value is created, with the teams executing the services. And also we inverted the way we operate. And if you guys look at an org chart from BRQ today, we, the leaders of the organization, we are the bottom. And we believe that clients being at the top, if clients will do the right thing for our employees, and our employees will do the right thing for us if we help them being successful. That's what we call the BRQ ways. The BRQ way, it's a combination of people, process, and tools, and makes us different than anybody else in the industry. And also not only gives us the financial performance that you guys just saw, but the customer satisfaction. Our NPS numbers are amazing. Our people satisfaction numbers are amazing. And it started in 2017 when we looked at the numbers where you guys saw the figures that were not, actually good at that time, to a situation that puts us as one of the standards for the industry in terms of performance. Now, how do we use that methodology, those toolings, to help our clients, right? So I'm going to use three cases here. Then I'm going to get back to people, and then we're going to wrap for questions. Very quickly, GPA, for the people that live in Brazil, Grupo Pão de Açúcar, is part of Grupo Casino, is the largest retailer in South America, one of the largest in the world when you look at the Grupo Casino. And they had a challenge of revamping their whole grocery delivery business. For the ones that are competing against Amazon around the world, you guys know how difficult it is in the retail business to actually become profitable and compete in this online offline world that we live today. So they invited us to help them from the business perspective, to co-create the solutions with them. We used all the tools that we have in Lean, right? It starts from the co-creation of the strategy, how you actually unfold that strategy into execution. And we were able to redo the whole online ordering to delivery processes, helping them be more assertive in the orders. Now they're processing a much higher volume. Their revenues increased. You can see here the figures. Their costs decreased, and now they're competing head to head with Amazon in Brazil, delivering groceries in just 4 hours, which is probably a record anywhere around the world. Now, a second case where we also used Lean was with AB InBev. For the ones that know the beer business, you can see their brands here. We actually have business now in 5 countries with InBev. It started in Brazil. A similar problem, but from the distribution perspective, the supply chain teams were very concerned with some of the issues they had in not, sending the right, not being able to fulfill orders properly. The trucks were not, leaving the distribution centers full, which is a problem. Only 25% of the trucks were full, leaving the distribution centers. And then again, we sat with the client, with the business. We understood what the problems were. Again, going to the Gemba, understanding each one of the brands, each one of the in this case breweries, and if it's a can, if it's a bottle, location of the inventory, production. We created a whole new data analytics using AI and ML for them that produced amazing results. It started in Brazil, then we went to the Czech Republic, to Prague, then we went to Mexico. We came here to the US with Budweiser. Now we are going to Belgium with Stella. So an example on how you can start something, again, using our methodology of using Lean for everything we do, actually in one country for one company that is a global multinational, and expand that to several countries. And this last one is probably one of the best examples that we have of innovation being created by a very small team. So Bradesco Seguros, the insurance company from Bradesco, car insurance company, came to us and said, we want to solve a problem that during the pandemic became very acute, which is car inspection for car insurances. So we have an inspector, thousands of them, tens of thousands, going to the local locations, municipalities, to inspect cars. That was very costly, was very complicated, and during the pandemic became even worse. And we created a platform using AI where you can actually take pictures and video from your assets and do the inspection using AI from your phone. So that became a product. It's being used by tens of insurance companies now. It's insuring tractors, boats, even crops for agriculture. So it's something that, again, creating innovation that was co-created here with the client, that became actually a company, is a subsidiary of BRQ now, that is pushing that product in a market in a way that is amazing, producing amazing results, not only to our clients, but also to our company. And you can see the numbers here. But it's amazing to see the progress that you can make when you have people with passion and they're people empowered to do the right thing for the customer. Now, 2 more slides, and then I will wrap for questions. So this transformation has to start, and it starts and ends with our people. So it's all about culture. It's all about, you have the 5 pillars of the well-defined culture. So it starts with our vision. So that starts with our founders creating the vision. and then with our people engaging, collecting the best practices, with our leadership walking the walk, and with training. So one thing that we have to do, all of us, in what we do around lean, is actually talk about it openly, implement the processes, implement everything that we described here from the toolbox, and train our people, because we have to continuously train to get better at what we do. And to wrap up, and then we open for questions, we are very, very dedicated to ESG. We are very dedicated to the environment. We are carbon neutral already. Our governance is top shelf, top notch. But we are very dedicated to the social part, to the S part. So we look at inclusion. We look at classes for minorities. We bring 500 people as trainees to the company every year. We go to cities. They're probably second, third tier cities, to enable people to get a better life using technology, using their technology superpowers to become better individuals, to improve their families, and sometimes changing the lives of families in doing that. So again, thank you for the invitation, Thompson. It was amazing to hear the prior presenter. I will stay here and listen to the next one. And if you guys have any questions, we're going to, I think we have another 6 minutes that we can use for questions.
Well, we have 9 minutes here
9 minutes.
to
Okay, so
to
my clock is too
yeah, we
fast.
can enjoy this time. We have some questions that we received while we were presenting. I will ask people to write on the chat on the side here on our stage. There's a chat. They can send a question. We will be pulling the questions from that chat. So the first one is from Ismael Carvalho. What was it like working with different cultures? Tips, lessons learned, do's and don'ts.
Ismael, thank you for the question. I don't know where you're based, but I live in New York for 25 years, and it was hard. Because when you move from a country to another country, or to any country, I had global businesses before in our prior lives, and the first thing you have to do, you have to listen. And I don't know if you have anyone here that dealt with Japan. Japan is probably the most complicated country to understand the way people think, and the way people react. So the first thing I would recommend is do a lot of listening. Ask people about their problems, business problems, personal problems, because sometimes those are the issues. They're creating some of the other issues in your business. And so be a partner. If you're coming from a different country, and be a partner with your boss, because you always have a boss. Even when you're the CEO like me, I have a boss, and my CEO has a boss, the shareholders. So make sure you understand their priorities. And the don'ts, don't bring a preconceived notion of what you think people do in their businesses, how they actually treat their businesses or their lives. Because most of what we think happens, for example, in US or in Europe, is not totally correct, right? And the final point I would make, Thompson, is there are some places in the world that have a very open, objective discussion, like in US, in UK, in Germany, in Australia, and Canada, and all other countries in the world except Germany, north of France, UK, Canada, US, and Australia. All the other, Africa, Japan, Asia, all Brazil, South America, south of Europe, they have a subjective culture. So when you go to countries like those, if you go to South Africa, for example, if you go to Malaysia, you have to listen to the silence. And in Japan, they call that listening to the air, right? So you have to listen to the air, right? Because there's communication that is being processed there that you don't know. So that's what I learned with the Japanese, and I have to listen to the air.
Perfect. Ismael Carvalho, just for you to know, is from Toronto,
Hey,
Canada.
Toronto,
So he
Canada.
sent
It's
here.
cold. Oh, Ismail, it's probably freezing today. It's freezing here too.
So next question from Madhu Iyer, probably. It is
Madhu.
great to see how you have used your digital transformation competence and embedded that in a lean value proposition for your customers. Is that a correct understanding?
Yes, it is, Madhu. So what we've done, is because we use the processes and the tooling from Lean to ourselves. We actually created a toolbox where we deliver digital transformation to our clients, also using Lean. So we embedded the learnings and the methodologies and the tools, and we can have a discussion offline. If you email, me, we can share that, where we actually develop digital assets. We call that lean inception when we go to the discovery session, and we try to use that lean in everything we do for our clients. Most of them really like it because it connects very well with agile.
Perfect. So we have another question now from Scott Ward. What was the impact of these changes to your overhead?
The overhead reduced a lot, right? So what we were able to reduce our overhead, actually, because we have been growing, we were able to grow without growing overhead. For example, here in the US, we were just presenting that today. So we were able to grow revenues in the US 40% without growing the overhead in the US. So we were able to sustain expenses 22 versus 21 in my local team, and we grew 40% revenue top line. And DRQ has been doing that as a company for many years, growing revenues faster than uh, than expenses. Just to give an example, we are a listed company, so you can see our results are public. We have been growing revenue 20% CAGR every year, and the profitability has been growing 40% CAGR. So the profitability has been growing twice the revenue.
Perfect. Okay, from Ismael, we have one more question from him. Question 2. What precautions and observations could you decide on going to Gamba virtually? So the merci there
Je ne
from
parle pas
Canada.
français, Ismael. So going virtually, and that's a very important question, right? So one thing that we found as a company, and in my prior companies, we were very concerned about the pandemic because we thought we were going to stop by not having real interactions. And what we found is that people actually became more productive being virtual, and you can do almost everything virtually, right? uh, there are a couple of things that you can't do virtually, right? One is building trust, right? So if you need to build trust, you actually have to see, you have to smell, the place where you are, the people. You have to go, as we say in the US, break bread, have a cup of coffee. You have to go and do something with a person that will develop that trust. So I would say that building that trust probably would require a face-to-face visit at some point, because then you have that. The second one is you can't read the room when you're virtual, right? So when you're virtual, there are a lot of things that happen that you don't see in the camera that sometimes are important, right? So just be careful with uh, being mindful with the other side, because sometimes we can't read the room, and also the room can't read you, right? And the last point I would make is, people are overworked, right? So one thing we have to be mindful today as leaders is that we start very early in the morning, we go to the evening. The personal lives and the professional lives, at least here in the US, have completely blurred. And people like me, I had my first meeting at 7 a.m. in the morning, and I'm going to go to 7 p.m. and probably going to work after that. And you have to be careful with burnout. So we actually are going through a phase where we have a lot of people with burnout. So I would recommend that, to be careful with when you do the Gamba, to be mindful that the other side may be working too hard.
I think we have time for one more question, João. We have we have from Henrique. We've been talking a lot about digital transformation at the company I work for, but I've seen many initiatives taking place in parallel and creating competition for resources. In general, what steps do you recommend for aligning all areas in the same direction?
Enrique, it's a very good point. I think one thing that we do is to create build a matrix of what projects you have and what the business impact are. We do that. We have a process called Lean Inception that we do that actually for clients. We do that for ourselves and for clients. And then we try to prioritize the projects that will require a certain amount of resources and will have an outcome, a business outcome, and then how probable that the other problem is how probable that outcome is, and what is the size of the impact, and we prioritize the resources, because in the end you won't be able to do everything, right? So you probably will be able to do 20%, 30% of the digital transformation projects that you have due to resources, and then you have to convince the stakeholders that they will have to phase those investments over time. The other thing we can do is we can partner together and we can augment your team and accelerate your digital transformation
with digital superpowers.
with our digital
Again,
superpowers.
João, thank you very much for sharing. And now we will have to continue here with the flow of the next sessions. But again, thank you,
Thank you,
BRQ,
everyone.
for sharing the story.
Thank you, Thompson. Bye bye.
Bye.